Yuan from tutorial group 3. Today my topic about understand intercultural transitions. Question 1, intercultural interview. The reason I choose this topic because I would like to explore how cultural process affect people of adjusting into another country from different culture and different country. Before starting the interview section, a short video presented by Dr. Deborah.
It's a big world, full of difference and diversity. How you see others is influenced by your own cultural perspective, and how others see you is influenced by their cultural perspective. What happens when you speak? Do people from other cultures understand you in the way you intended? And what happens with different cultures in the workplace? How rigid or flexible is their approach to rules? Is formal or informal behaviour expected? And how do different cultures approach timekeeping? In today's global business environment, it is essential to learn how to navigate across different cultural landscapes. You need a good set of tools to do this. You need an understanding of how different cultures trade and do business, an insight into how different cultures communicate, and a clear idea of how different cultures manage people. To be a savvy global traveller, you need to be willing to undertake the journey of understanding other cultures. Develop cultural intelligence so you can communicate confidently across cultures.
Migrant. According to Martin and Nakayama, an individual who lives the primary cultural context in which he or she was raised and moved to a new cultural context for an extended time. Sojourners. According to Martin and Nakayama, people who move into new cultural contexts for a limited period of time and for a specific purpose. Hi, Akib.
Hello, Lina.
So, can you tell me about yourself?
My name is Akib. I'm 20 years old and I'm currently studying mass communication at Taylor's University. I've been here for almost a year and I'm from Sri Lanka.
So, before you come to Malaysia, how do you think about Malaysia?
To Sri Lanka, especially the weather, for example, it's very similar, it's very hot, just like in Sri Lanka, so he said I will adapt to it.
So, how does the university at Malaysia compare to Sri Lanka?
The reason why I chose Malaysia is because when you study in Sri Lanka, it doesn't give you as much exposure as it would have been in Malaysia. When you go to compare universities in Malaysia to Sri Lanka actually is only around 16 universities compared to Malaysia, which has around, let's say, 200 or more plus. I'm not really sure about the number. But universities in general are not as good in Malaysia. For example, you get the University of Colombo. Even though you made, let's say, a degree in law, it would only give you an advantage in our country, not overseas.
It's hard for you to merge with other students at Malaysia?
Not entirely. It was very easy. I was surprised actually when I came to Malaysia first because everyone was so hospitable, very friendly, and coming from a multicultural society myself, which includes the Sri Lankan, Sri Lankan Tamils, and the Sinhalese, which makes up the majority of the population in Sri Lanka. So coming to Malaysia, you have the Chinese, Malay, and the Indians. I actually have a lot of Malay friends, so it was easy to adapt to the new environment, and it was easy.
What is the greatest challenge that you have to face when adjusting to Malaysia, and how you overcome it?
Question. I actually haven't been overseas in like 13 years, which is a very long time. So coming to a new country to experience a new environment, a new culture, it was very difficult for me. And since my family came with me to Malaysia, it was very hard to say goodbye to them since I won't be seeing them for around 6 months. I come from a very family-oriented background, which means I'm more closer to my family than my friends. For example, I celebrate my birthday with my family instead of friends because we're pretty close. So the fact that they are thousands of kilometers away, just made me feel very homesick during the first few months. How did I overcome that? I kept myself busy most of the time, made sure I was active in most of the clubs I took part in. Which, the reason why I took part in most clubs is it helped me, forget about home so that I wouldn't, go through homesickness and issues like that. I used to spend a lot of time in university also because it helps pass time, and during that first month I didn't feel at home at all because it was a new environment and such. So yeah, being in university itself helps greatly.
Thank you so much for the interview session. We are Malaysian. We should be more helpful, friendly and patient for the students who are not familiar with